Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Motorhead Garage is presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
Hey there! Welcome to Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. When it comes to ceramic coatings, NextGen has the #1 ranked product out there. But Michael, tell me, what makes a ceramic a ceramic?
We know we get asked this question a lot. Everybody wants to know, is your ceramic product a real ceramic coating? It all comes down to one thing, and that's silicon dioxide. Every ceramic coating at its base uses silicon dioxide. And typically what separates a ceramic coating from a consumer grade product to a pro grade product is the amount of silicon dioxide that you'll find in it. Typically a professional grade ceramic coating has a much higher silicon dioxide content, a consumer grade obviously a much lower. With our product, NextGen Ceramic Spray, which is currently ranked the #1 ceramic spray on the market today, we have 13% silicon dioxide, which goes far beyond any of our competitors on the market today. Most products that are a consumer grade product typically have 1, maybe 2% ceramic, just enough so they can put the word ceramic on the bottle. But we've really worked hard to get as much silicon dioxide into the product as we can so that you get the best effective coating, which results in the best shine on your vehicle that you can get as well.
You mentioned a ceramic in a spray. You've got a spray bottle there. I've heard that if it's a real ceramic, you can't spray it.
So the two things that we typically get are, if it doesn't come in a glass bottle, it's not a real ceramic, and if you use a sprayer, it's not a real ceramic product, both of which are inaccurate. Typically what you see with a pro grade product, like the one you're holding in your hand, comes in a glass bottle. It's typically 1, maybe 2 ounces of product. It's used for a single vehicle. They put it into a glass bottle, not because of any other reason than they chose to put it into a glass bottle. That same product could go into a plastic bottle. It could be used with a sprayer in many cases, but in some cases, the ceramic content or the silicon dioxide content in the pro grade product exceeds the capacity that a sprayer would allow. It's so thick that it would clog the sprayer. Now you're typically talking about 60, maybe even 70% silicon dioxide in a pro grade formula. At 13%, even 25 or 30 or 40%, you're still going to have no issues using a sprayer to apply a ceramic spray and coat your vehicle.
Why wouldn't just Joe Schmo on the corner just want to pick up a pro grade product?
Well, in many cases, Joe Schmo on the corner wants to get a pro grade product. The issue that you run into with a pro grade product is when you're applying a product that has that much silicon dioxide in it, what you run into are potential issues with hurting your car's finish instead of helping your car's finish. The stronger the product is, the more issues you run into with flashing, with high spots, with issues where it's going to harden in a way that you're going to end up going to a pro detailer to have them fix the mistake that you may have made, as opposed to just getting the great finish that you were looking for, which is why at 13%, we've tried to take a product to make it as easy as it can possibly be to apply, while yet not having any issues with problems when you apply it that you'd have to go get fixed by a pro grade detailer.
Speaking of professionals, Jim here has been doing this for 35 years. Jim, why would someone want to go to a professional, and why would somebody want to actually do this job at home with a NextGen consumer product?
Well, Dave, it really depends on the surface condition of the car to start with. If you have flawless paint, there's not a lot of reason that you maybe not necessarily have to go to a professional to polish it. But the majority of the prep work that's needed to put a ceramic coating on a car, whether it be do-it-yourself grade or professional grade, would be the levels of polishing and prep that you have to put into the car in order to have that product put on. For example, if you've got a lot of scratches in the paint and you put a Pro-Line coating on it, it's going to seal all those scratches into the paint. You're going to notice everything because it's going to magnify them by 1,000 times, and it's going to look really shiny but really jacked up paint. So the best thing to do is take it to a professional, unless you really know how to polish a car yourself. We have a lot of clients that are really like, they consider it therapeutical for them to, hey, I'm going to pull out my polisher, I'm going to polish it like for 20 hours, and I'm going to have a flawless finish. I love doing this, and it's going to make me feel like nice and cozy. But when it comes to installing the professional product, it's a lot different animal, and especially depending on the climate you are in, because the silicon dioxide in the Pro-Line products, the way that you put it on is affected by the climate. So the higher the humidity, the quicker it flashes, and all these products are different. So some products you can use a damp towel and a dry towel to wipe them off. Sometimes water's the killer for the product. So you really have to understand the chemistry with what ceramic coating you're using. Now, the next-gen ceramic coating that we're having developed, it's a really nice product. We're working on a consumer grade and a pro grade so that it satisfies both of those corners. Now, the next-gen DIY line, I mean, you can put this on any car. It's very simple to apply. Anybody can learn how to do it very fast, and you can get great results from it.
And what are some of the pitfalls if a DIY person grabs a professional grade product and tries to do it himself?
On this product, the biggest problem that we have is someone using too much product, but it's an easy fix. On a pro line product, for someone to use too much product, it would be a catastrophe to fix. You would definitely want to get a pro to fix it. It wouldn't necessarily hurt the finish, but it would make it look terrible. So that's what I love about this, the DIY product. It's super easy to use, super easy to fix if you have a problem.
There are a ton of detail products out there. Why do you love Next Gen?
I tell you, Dave, why I love Next Gen is from the chemistry, from the raw materials to build the foundations of each and other products. The chemistry is at such a higher level than anything else in the market that by the time they're finished, from any of the components that are built from the prep to the coatings, it's the best product you could find anywhere on the market across the board.
Their ceramic coating is ranked #1 in the business. You can find out why. Get it at getnextgen.com. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. So we'll see you in a minute.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by RockAuto.com. All the parts your car will ever need. BrothersTrucks.com, your #1 source for 1947 to 87 Chevy and GMC truck restoration. Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. NH Oil Undercoating, the official oil-based rust prevention system. And by Lead Brakes for the wide pedal.
You are riding along with Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Whether you got a flat tire on your ATV or on the old minivan cruising down the highway, it can be a bad deal. It can ruin your day and it can ruin your fun. It can be really unsafe. But, Brandon, you invented TireJect with your father, and you have solved our problems. You're going to get us out of trouble.
That's right. Well, we have two products. We have our off-road that's meant for your ATVs, lawnmowers, golf carts, that sort of thing, and we have our automotive tire sealant. And off-road, it's what we call 5-in-1, where you can protect the tread area, the sidewall, bead leaks, slow leaks, and even sometimes the older tires, they'll get the dry rot, little cracks. As long as it's minor and a low speed, we can actually get a little bit more life out of your tire with TireJect Off-Road. And the automotive, this is our 2-in-1 product, and we can both seal your bead leaks and any kind of tread punctures you'll get in the tread of the tire.
It's amazing now you can do the sidewall on an ATV tire even?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's just because our sealant is very different than the other products out there. It's a lot thinner, and because it's thinner, it's easier to install, and you can also get up and flow around the entire tire, hitting your sidewalls, hitting your bead leaks, and that's what makes it very different than the other products out there.
The one thing that everybody wants to know when they're putting something in their tires, is this product safe for my tires?
Absolutely. All the materials we use, they're not non-corrosive, non-hazardous. Even for our automotive, it's also TPMS safe. There's no issues getting it through the TPMS valve stem.
Now, what's the installation like? Am I going to have to take this off the bead, or what do we have to do?
No, that's another great part. It's super easy to do. Anyone can do it in probably less than 5 minutes. The pouch comes with this little adapter, which is just a cap with a hose on it. And you're taking out the valve core from inside of your valve stem with the included tool. And you slide that hose on over and you squeeze in the contents of the pouch inside of the tire, putting the core back in, airing it up, and drive away, and you're just good to go. I brought my air nailer with me, and we actually used the air nailer to nail the board to the tire, ripped it out, and gave it a little bit of rotation. It sealed it right up, and from there you could just ride on it like normal. We did the same demo on the automotive tire. We punctured it in there with an air nailer, ripped it out, and sealed it up, no problem.
We've seen how to actually install TireJect, but what makes it so effective inside the tire?
Yeah, so TireJect is a really thin liquid that we talked about, and it actually is made with a liquid rubber of super strong aramid fibers and recycled rubber tire particles. And so what will happen is you have a leak or a puncture in that tire, on contact with the sealant, the fiber particles and the rubber particles, they will wedge into the hole, and then that liquid rubber is actually what will bond and seal permanently on the tire.
Well, TireJect really works, and it's an affordable insurance policy against a flat tire. Check them out at TireJect.com. You know, it never fails. I do a lot of home improvement projects, and every time I do something, Tom, I forget a washer or I forget a screw that I need, and it's a million trips to and from the store. How can Rock Auto prevent that when it comes to car projects?
Well, yeah, even if you've done the repair before, it might be a little different. On a different car, there's different parts required, and you get halfway into the project and you discover you need something else, and you're tempted to like, well, let's reuse this one old part, and then like with a belt, you're going to wear out the belt faster if you don't replace the pulleys and tensioners that particular car needs. So what we've done, and a lot of manufacturers have done, is come up with kits. So all the parts are there. Front end is a good example. They vary a lot between the models, and everything's usually wearing evenly. So you get a kit that has the ball joints, the control arms, the tie rods, everything you need to completely redo the front end so you can get an alignment right, it'll handle right, and all in one kit.
And you're disassembling it anyway, you might as well just do the whole thing and do it right.
Right, yeah, reinstall some rusty bent old part doesn't make any sense. And we've come up with some kits you might not have thought of, like our mirror kits. These mirrors on modern SUVs stick out really far. If you measure the width of these cars, including the mirrors, they're wider than what we call land yachts from the 60s and 70s.
Which is hard to believe, yeah.
Yeah. So you're in the parking lot or changing lanes or something, these mirrors collide and break off frequently. And so we thought, well, okay, we'll come up with a kit. So instead of, okay, do I get a new mirror and then pair it with my old weathered, if it's black, it's turned gray, or if one mirror is painted and one mirror is not, do I try to paint them to match? We came up with kits so you get 2 new mirrors that match perfectly. These are typically easy to install, just 3 nuts and an electrical connector. They're not hard to install, so you install 2 mirrors, the car looks fresh and ready to go.
One of the things I love about rockauto.com also, Tom, is you guys have a lot of instructional videos, and a lot of these repairs aren't as hard as you think. Go check it out at rockauto.com. That's also where you will find all the parts your car will ever need. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, so stay tuned.
Dragonfire Tools, quality, affordable storage. Proud sponsor of our DragonfireTools.com studio.
Wow, that is the first thing people say when they see our Dragonfire Tools workbench in our Dragonfire Tools studio when they come to do Motorhead Garage. And Lou, how much did you think of aesthetics when you designed your workbenches?
So when these are going into car dealerships and places like that, having a uniform and consistent look is important. So, you know, a lot of the places that these are going into, there are maybe existing examples of multicolored toolboxes in there and toolboxes with stickers all over them and stuff like that. So when you put these workbenches into those professional places, it makes it look professional.
It almost gives it a lab kind of look, which I think is super clean. Now, what about function? I mean, obviously these things look great, but how does this make the job much more efficient for a professional shop?
As you know, in a professional shop, time is money, Dave. So having your tools right at the same spot that you're working on something and being able to just reach down, open up a drawer, grab the tool that you need, and not having to walk back and forth to a toolbox, because now your workbench is your toolbox. So that saves time, money, and space in your shop, Dave.
I know a lot of guys share a shop, so maybe in that situation, they're going to be worried about sharing a workbench with somebody else. How have you solved that problem?
In this unit here, you'll see that there's 5 individual drawer banks. Each one of those individual drawer banks lock. So you can lock a bank of drawers individually, keep your most secure tools locked up in that bay, and then still have access to your other tools.
And you know how I know your tools are going to be secure as well? You don't have to worry about these drawers failing because they can hold, well, they can hold more than me. And I'm over 200 pounds. How much can these hold?
So those drawers are double railed and they're rated for 400 pounds, Dave.
Well, you can find a durable workbench that's going to last you a lifetime. Find them at DragonfireTools.com. Just enter the code MOTORHEAD when you check out. You'll get a discount and you'll get free shipping.
Time now for the lowdown with Magic Creeper.
You know, I talk to a lot of viewers. They hit me up on Facebook and they tell me how much they love the Magic Creeper for off-roading. Those folks are out on the trail all the time. It makes it super easy to get your tow vehicle ready. If you're walking around maybe setting air pressures on your vehicle, or you want to check under the hood on your tow vehicle, you can use the Magic Creeper as a fender cover to protect your paint job and also keep your clothes clean. Of course, all the other maintenance on the UTV, same thing before you get going. But when you get to the site, when you're getting ready to do some off-roading, you're always going to want to lower your tire pressures. That means better traction for you, of course. And of course, that also means kneeling at every corner while you're taking the air out of your tires or putting the air back in afterwards. And believe me, after 10 minutes of kneeling beside the tire and letting the air out, you're going to wish that you had some padding. The Magic Creeper plays a perfect part in helping your knees. Once you get on the trail, you can run into all kinds of issues. You might get hung up. You might get a lot of debris or branches stuck underneath the vehicle. That's when the Magic Creeper does exactly what its name says. You can use it as a creeper to get under your UTV to remove those branches and twigs and that sort of thing, or check underneath to see if there's any damage. The Magic Creeper can roll like no other creeper. There are no wheels to get hung up, so you don't have casters getting stuck on gravel or on roots or in grass or in mud. And as a bonus, the Magic Creeper gets dirty, you do not. So who wants to be in soaking wet, muddy clothes all day long when you're on the trail? Let the Magic Creeper take the beating. Your clothes don't have to. It's going to keep you a lot more comfortable all day long. The Magic Creeper weighs practically nothing. You can put it in your vehicle. I think it only weighs 3 pounds. It also takes up very little space, so bringing it with you, you won't even notice you have it, but you'll be glad you do when you need it. You can find the authentic Magic Creeper at magiccreeper.com, except no substitutes because they're out there. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, so keep it right here.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by Levrack, the storage solution you've been looking for. Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. Vaporworks, we give you gas. Easy Oil Drain, the easiest oil change. And by Dragonfire Tools, quality, affordable storage.
Now here at the headquarters for NHOU Protective Coatings, it's a magnificent facility. We've got training area, we've got a laboratory, and Joe, thousands of vehicles go through here every year to get the undercoating they need, but really this started kind of selfishly for you with only one vehicle in mind.
Desperation. Yeah, I lost too many vehicles to rust, and I buy pickup trucks. They're $50,000, $60,000. I couldn't afford to keep doing it, and I would not take no for an answer, that there was nothing I could do. And I know that in my neighborhood, people were saving their vehicles through doing this thing, you know, undercoating oil at night, and I knew it was effective.
How did you begin the research?
So what I did was I realized, you know, how oil-based rust proofing works, and I found some products that were not engineered necessarily for that application, but they were close. And I didn't want to use the old school used motor oil because it was illegal and frankly wasn't good for the environment. So we found a chemist ultimately to make our own formula, because all the products that I used off the shelf were generic and they just didn't live up to my expectations. So ultimately we found this chemist who made our own products, engineered for the application.
What was the response from folks once you started doing it for other people?
It was incredible. We started out offering it to just friends and family, and before you know it, in a busy week, I would have people coming out to my garage in the middle of nowhere on a dirt road, traveling 2.5, 3 hours to get to us. And I realized just how pervasive rust was and the enormity of that problem, and realized that we were onto something. I had people business propositioning me all the time, you know, hey, let's do this here, let's do this there. And it's kind of evolved into what it is today.
People love it because it's a great product and it works. And where can they find you?
NHOilundercoating.com.
I have a lot of viewers that email me and send me notes and ask me about Tribotex. They want to know two things, Pasha. The first one is it safe for my vehicle? Is it safe?
It's absolutely safe, and there's no condition in which it can't make an improvement.
And what about a new vehicle? It doesn't seem to need much improvement.
In new cars, you will not see much of a difference in terms of efficiency, but you will see a lot of difference in terms of longevity. And right after first oil change, it's perfect time to apply.
What about older vehicles and you're starting to have problems and maybe hear some rattles and that sort of thing? Tribotex is perfect for those folks too.
That's right. The more friction, the more difference it will make. So the older cars perform better, more cylinders perform better, and smaller engine it performs better. This is all the places where a lot of friction robs you of fuel efficiency.
And it takes that friction away, but there's a lot of metal on metal wear, so you can get some grooves and scratches, that sort of thing in the metal parts of the car. How can Tribotex fix those?
The grooves turn into smooth, glassy-like surface that is porous ceramic, and those pores filled with lubricant, so that lubricant works even when shock loads or sudden potholes happen.
Gotcha. And now let's talk about the other question I get a lot is how easy is it to apply or install or use Tribotex?
If you know how to pop up the hood of the car and find where you put oil, that's all you need. You stop the engine, you open the hood, you inject material, you close it, you let it run for 15 minutes to assure dispersion, and it's good to go for 500 miles, and then you will see a difference.
How often do we need to put Tribotex in our car?
It's enough for 40,000 miles, so once per few years if you drive not fast, or seasonally if you, let's say, ride-share driver.
Well, Tribotex is going to make your vehicle last longer. It's also going to take your old vehicle, actually repair the damage, and give you better performance. You can check it out at tribotex.com. You can also find all the science there behind it. Thanks for tuning in to Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. We're glad you came along for the ride. We hope you join us when we do it once again next week. In the meantime, you can check us out on our Facebook page. And if you have a product you want to see featured on our show, email jeff@masterstv.com. From our entire Masters Entertainment Group crew here at Motorhead Garage, we will see you next time. So long.